Hey everybody, Crafty Media is back, and today I'm going to be breaking down the latest episode of The Flash, Season 4, Episode 17, entitled Null and Annoyed. I'm also going to be giving lots of theories and predictions, so please be warned, this video contains spoilers up until Season 4, Episode 17 and beyond. Firstly, let's get right into it, and start off with the most significant twist in the show, and that is of Harrison Wells going into the time vault in the last scene of the episode. Up until now, we had all assumed that the Harrison Wells we had been living with on the show was Harrison Wells from Earth 2. Now in this scene, firstly we see him acting very suspicious, and making sure that no one sees him into the time vault. His handprint gives him access to the vault. He places the thinking cap into the charging point, and begins to charge the cap with dark matter. By the way, as a side note, who else here is upset that they cancelled the show Dark Matter? It was genuinely one of the best sci-fi shows ever. Way better than Killjoys, which got renewed. Anyway, it's significant that Wells is putting dark matter into the cap in secret. He had previously promised not to use dark matter, as Cisco pointed out, that it was dark matter that had driven Devoe to become a villain, had driven him insane. Wells then takes the thumb drive and inserts it into the console. This reinitializes the Gideon AI, which we of course saw in Season 1. However, just before Gideon reinitializes, it looks for a second like it's not going to work, and Wells looks visibly defeated. Almost like he was thinking, well, this is a long shot, but anyway, I don't really expect it to work. Gideon says, "Evening, Dr. Wells. It's been 1,078 days since we last spoke." Wells says, "Hello Gideon, a lot has changed since then." 1,078 days ago takes us all the way back to the 28th of April 2015. This was Season 1, Episode 20, entitled The Trap.
Is Eobard Thawne. Eobard Thawne.
Thawne? Like Eddie Thawne?
Team Flash had theorized that Wells was the Reverse Flash, and Cisco was able to vibe that the Reverse Flash was actually Eobard Thawne. Team Flash set a trap for Thawne, but he ultimately outsmarts them. In Season 1, Episode 20, the Reverse Flash gives a monologue at Barry's bedside while he's unconscious. He comments on how young Barry looked. "What wouldn't I have given all those times before to have had you like this?" This indicates that the Flash from this universe has a long history with Barry. Far more history than just the events of the seasons that have come before. In fact, earlier in the season, Eobard Thawne, with Wells' face, made an appearance in the Crisis on Earth X crossover event.
Thawne, direct from Earth 1. Do you like my face?
He proclaims to Barry that he is Thawne from Earth 1. Thought I'd put it on again for old time's sake. I watched you die. Time travel, Barry, is so confusing. I always seem to be saying that to you, don't I? In the last part of the Crisis on Earth X crossover, the Flash spares the Reverse Flash's life, to which he says, "I wonder what face I'll be wearing next time we meet, Flash." So it certainly seems like the show is setting up the return of the Reverse Flash. But up until now, the show has given us no indication that this is not Wells from Earth 2. And to throw in such a massive twist without any setup whatsoever makes it seem like this is just a ruse on the part of the writers. In fact, I don't think this is the case at all. I think it is more likely that Wells is just obsessed with being smarter than Devoe, and that the thinking cap is perhaps poisoning his mind, leading him to make rash and unwise decisions in desperation. I think a combination of the cap, which is now infused with dark matter, and his newfound intelligence has led him to devise a plan which involves using the knowledge of the future or the past, and this knowledge can come from using the Gideon AI program. Gideon, of course, was created by Barry Allen in the future, and this is the same AI which operates the Wave Rider timeship in Legends of Tomorrow. So in summary, I think that this Wells is indeed Wells from Earth 2. And that he is going rogue with a plan that involves gaining an understanding of what happens in the future or the past, and he is going to use this information to try and defeat Devoe. He knows Team Flash won't agree with his methods, and that's why he's hiding it from them, and that's why he looks so suspicious. Now in terms of the Reverse Flash, I think that we will definitely see his return, but this twist is not it. It's more likely that the Reverse Flash's return will have a much more well thought out and cleverer return to the show. In a recent interview, Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, had the following to say: "I think that the biggest secret weapon that Team Flash has at its disposal at the moment is Harry's cap, which he calls the intelligence booster. It seems to be the next logical step in taking down Devoe. It's matching intelligence using artificial means. However, that situation then sort of starts to get complicated because I can't say anything. So basically Harry gets ahead of himself and some dark secrets come out, and that complicates his relationship to the team and especially his relationship to Cisco. Harry can be a very stubborn guy, and if anyone can take the challenge of talking him out of his stubbornness, it's Cisco. This conflict between Harry and Cisco is probably coming because of the fact that Harry has infused dark matter into the cap against Cisco's advice and warnings. In a previous video, I mentioned that I thought Devoe's wife Marlize would play a role in defeating the Thinker. And after this episode's revelation, I think this even more, and that she is in fact going to be the key to defeating her husband. Clifford says there are only 2 remaining bus meters, to which Marlize replies, no, don't you mean 3? Now clearly Clifford had not told her that he had captured the Weeper, and this is because he used a concentrated dose of the Weeper's tears in order to control Marlize in episode 13 entitled True Colors. Now it was in this episode that Marlize began to doubt Clifford's plan after he ruthlessly murdered Warden Wolf. As is explained in the episode, by using the Weeper's tears and his telepathic abilities, Clifford was able to alter Marlize's memories and keep her under control, completely devoted to him. It was actually quite sick to find out that the only reason Devoe wanted the Weeper in the first place was to drug and control his wife. This was his plan all along, and he's only using her genius engineering mind to prolong his life and ultimately reach his goals. And I think that it's only a matter of time before Marlize realizes this, or perhaps Team Flash will convince her of this fact, and then she, although heartbroken, will work alongside Team Flash to defeat the Thinker. And I also have my doubts whether she will make it out of the season alive. This episode narratively was largely about Ralph redeeming himself from being just the joker of the team. He starts out the episode by annoying everyone because he's seemingly not taking the Thinker's threat seriously enough for the team's liking. However, when the chips are down and Barry really needs him, he is able to save the day by capturing the gravity-bending meta Janet Perry, aka Null. It was quite funny how instead of Cisco naming her Null, Null turned out to be her social media handle.
Is that really her handle?
The other big talking point coming out of the episode is what is going to happen with Cisco. What is his future on Team Flash? I was wondering why Breacher returned to the show for this episode, and in the end, the whole arc was simply to offer Cisco to become his replacement as Breacher at the collection agency.
I'm curious, have you never looked in a mirror before?
I'm not a teenage girl.
This, of course, is a very tempting offer, as it will allow Cisco to spend a lot more time with the love of his life, Gypsy. In an interview, Carlos said it's actually very difficult for them because Breacher gives Cisco an offer. He offers him a job on Earth 19 as a Breacher, and so in the wake of that, Cisco has to weigh that prospect against his loyalties to Team Flash in Central City on Earth 1. That choice sort of brings up some feelings regarding where he stands with his relationship with Gypsy, and it actually complicates the long-distance relationship. Now, when I first saw Breacher give Cisco this offer, I immediately thought that perhaps they were trying to create a Vibe spin-off show starring Gypsy. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Cisco character, and I do think that Vibe as a superhero is somewhat underused on the show. And I have no doubt that Carlos Valdez could be the star of his own show and carry it very well. But for me personally, I love Cisco's interaction with the rest of Team Flash. So for selfish reasons, I really hope that they keep Cisco on the Flash show and don't create a spin-off. Carlos Valdez comments on this on his Twitter account. Clickbait or drama? Now, I don't think this is going to lead to a spin-off or Cisco leaving the show, and I think it's really just giving Cisco and Gypsy a story arc for the rest of the season related to their relationship. And I'm hoping that instead of Cisco leaving the Flash, that we actually get to see a lot more of Gypsy, and that she possibly joins Team Flash on a more permanent basis. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who are finding me for the first time, I do videos on the Flash and other comic book TV shows and movies. DC, Marvel, Star Wars, all those good blockbusters. So please like and share this video, it really helps the channel. Please also subscribe and enable notifications to make sure that you don't miss any Crafty Media content. And if you want, let's chat on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. My handle there is @CraftyMediaCo. So please feel free to follow me and discuss anything you like. I'll be breaking down the promo trailer for episode 18 shortly and posting it as soon as possible on the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers for now.